What's good, everybody? Go ahead and get in the Grace and Grit room. It's March Madness, and I'm so excited to get everybody ready for the Wellness Work Summit 2024, y'all. All I'm gonna say is, you don't want to mix it. Whether you in the physical room or whether you in the virtual room, you need to be in the room. So go ahead and tag your friend in. Let them know it's Grace and Grit time. We're gonna have this conversation. We're gonna talk about wellness work for the men and for the women. I thought this was great for this. You heard what I said. We're talking about wellness work for the men and for the women. All right, so we're gonna get into it. I'm not gonna belabor the moment. I'm not gonna drag out the time because I know y'all ready to eat. I guess today is a real one. I remember the first time I heard him speak. You know what? It was actually at the Wellness Work Summit 23. Catch that. He came in the room, y'all. He came in the room ready to get the word, engaged right in the conversation. And I'm super duper glad to have him back in the space today. So let me introduce myself. What's good? It's your girl, Kenitra Roselle. I hope y'all are doing good. This is the Kingdom Advocate YouTube channel, and this is the grace for this space. But for the month of March, we going grace and grit. Look, we grace for this. We grace for grit. It's the guys and the girls and everybody all in this space together. So I'm super duper excited, y'all. This is our first episode for Grace and Grit, and I want to introduce somebody to y'all who is dear to my heart. I enjoy him. He really my cousin. Okay, he really my cousin on my husband's side. I ain't gonna get into it, right? But he is a champion advocate for people of all races and social statuses, and he's passionate about helping individuals achieve their dreams. Currently, he is an adjunct facility member at Mercer University's College of Education, and he serves as the director of Mission Excellence. Come on, Mission Excellence, the Veterans Upward Bound program at Talladega College, and he works as a consultant for collegiate pipeline programs across the United States. Come on, I ain't done yet. There is more. Look, he has an impressive educational background, including a bachelor's degree in history and government from Cornell University. He's got a master's degree in instructional design from American Intercontinental University, AIU, and a PhD. Come on, doc. Excuse me, I'm sorry, a PhD in educational leadership from Mercer University. So putting it all together, his personal story emphasizes the importance of perseverance and determination in achieving one's goals despite facing obstacles and experiencing setbacks. Y'all, he the perfect person for this conversation. He believes that with the help of God, anyone, man, woman, boy, or girl, I added that in, I was a bonus, can overcome doubt and achieve success by staying committed to their purpose. Y'all make some noise in the comments for Dr. John Mason. What's good? We here. We
See, that's why I don't give my bio out to people, because they do exactly what you just did.
Yes, look, that's so good, and I'm so glad that you made sure I had it, because there's a story in our bios and we don't always lean into the bio. And so in this Grace and Grit journey that we're talking about, the wellness work is a part of the bio that folk don't want to talk about.
Well, I hate to tell you this, and this is for 2025.
Okay, 5.
Because we talked about this in 2023. You need an entire summit on the imposter syndrome. And specifically the Christian imposter syndrome.
My God, came out the swing.
Because I'm going to tell you something. We don't want to go to our bios because we don't want to be reminded of where we've set the bar for ourselves. It's a whole lot easier to make something up so then we can go ahead and do anything.
Ooh.
But once it's in paper, once it's inked, once it is literally set in stone, we now have to live up to that, whatever it is. Everything else, you're an imposter.
Yeah.
You said this, you delivered that. You said you were here when you're actually here. But more than that, and we're going to get to the questions in just a second. For us, we want to be here and don't ever tell anybody we're actually here.
Wow. Wow.
Because we are fearful. We're
Yeah.
fearful that God made a mistake. That's your free part for the day.
Woo! Drop the cash app in the links.
That's your free part.
Golly.
Because if God made a mistake, then we're going to live our entire lives wondering when he's going to pull the rug from underneath our feet and take back what he's given us, not understanding that the gifts are without repentance. Because we don't know what that means because we ain't in the book. But that's
Lord.
That's not what we here for. That's not what we here
he
for.
cutting up, y'all.
That's not what we here for.
That's why he first. We're gonna go ahead and break y'all in. Okay, we just gonna break y'all in right quick. Get Dr. Mason in here, set the thing straight, right? So thank you so much. Thank you. I consider it an honor, and you know this, but I'll say it on the public platforms. I consider it an honor to share space with you.
It's my pleasure. Because I've told everybody my cousin is doing stuff. She's going places, and I'm telling you, she is surrounding herself with a team that will not allow her to fail. So if you really want to do some stuff, get a hold of her. Get on one of her nice little investigation calls. You will not regret it. Won't regret it.
Good. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Y'all see what the topic is up there. It says, do men experience trauma? And I'll tell you why I'm asking that, right? Because it's a question that needs to be answered, because sometimes we as women, and I'm gonna speak on behalf of the women, you can speak on behalf of, we don't want to acknowledge what's been traumatic to us. Like the terminology trauma, people are just starting to lean into using trauma in everyday language and conversation. And so we might point to somebody else's trauma and identify something with them, or we will point to our own selves in the situation and call it trauma and be misinformed about how we're identifying it. So, where do the brothers fit into this situation? So the first thing I wanted to talk about is, do men experience trauma?
I'm going to go to the book first so that you have a even playing field for men and women. Since the fall of man, oh my, I'm in the show, and our host will be back in just a second. But since the fall of man, trauma entered the world. And when trauma entered the world, it allowed for mankind to experience failure, experience jealousy, experience murder, experience incest, experience famine, experience rebellion, experience this whole myriad of negative emotions. When that happened, man and woman alike began to experience trauma. They experienced everything that the traumatic brings to the table. So the answer is not, do men experience trauma? Do mankind experience trauma? And the answer is yes, without question. That was the door that the enemy opened.
That's so good.
So
good.
Anybody who tells you that they don't have trauma, they're a liar. Just like saying I don't sin, you're a liar. All of sin. That's a fact. That's not a conjecture.
That's so good. That is so good, because our sister Q, who's a part of the Grace for This community, and you met Q, she's a pillar inside of this community. We talked about how we compartmentalize things.
Yes.
And I think that what you just said helps us to identify another way that we compartmentalize things. So let's just throw the boxes all the way. Everybody fits the criteria.
Correct.
Everybody. Correct. You gotta skip on any you're gonna have to skip on any person, place, or thing. It's really just taking the time and having the eyes to see where you've experienced it.
That is correct.
And then you can take, we talk a lot about taking ownership of your wellness journey in this space. I don't want to talk about y'all bad. I'm gonna let you talk about y'all.
You can talk about us bad, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Like the the wellness work journey for a man. And so like the second question is, how do men process trauma? What does their wellness work journey look like? Because we as women who love men, we got fathers, we got brothers, and then you have the man of your love interest. You have that in that space. And so, how do we support them, or how do we identify what's going on with it, so we know whether to draw closer to them and support them, or whether to run because they're dangerous?
Okay, you've asked two questions, and believe it or not, they are not tied in any way, shape, or form.
Bet. Which one you gonna?
How do men process their trauma? They don't. It is a very enlightened male who wants to have ownership of their trauma. Very enlightened, very mature emotionally, very savvy to understand wholeness. More than not, we follow Muhammad Ali. We bob and weave. Trauma? Bad day. I never have a bad day. Angry? I ain't angry. You'll know when I'm angry.
Ooh. Okay.
You'll know when I'm angry. I ain't said I'm angry. So I ain't angry. Don't tell me I'm angry when I'm not angry. Avoidance. All day, every day. And this goes back to the issue of, am I enough?
Okay. Write that in the comments. Am
I enough? Because as a man, let's be honest, we were sold a bill of goods that we can't live up to. It's supposedly prophet, priest, and king. And we've been told since we were little boys, you ain't nothing. Your daddy wasn't nothing. You ain't about to be nothing. Yet, we are told by the women we love, you just lazy like your daddy. Just trifling. Can't get nothing right. Which ones do we believe? Do we believe what God said about us? Do we believe what those who are in our lives say about us? Now, that's the first part. The second part is the women in our lives. What do they do? And I'm going to tell you something that's going to be very interesting. I've had both examples. My mother, bless her heart, is a shining example of the eternal cheerleader. She never told me I couldn't. In fact, what she told me was, you can do anything you want to as long as your priorities are in order. Never played football in high school. Why? Because I didn't get straight A's. That was the agreement. You get straight A's, you can play football. If you don't have straight A's, you cannot play football. She put the priority, and it was up to me to be disciplined and get it done. She never said I couldn't play. She said, here is the ticket for admission. All my life, she was my cheerleader. I know you're going to get it done. I know it's going to be excellent. I know you're going to change the world. I know you're going to do this. I know you're going to do that. I know. Up until the time that she transitioned from this world, she said, you're my favorite son. Your only son, Mama. I love you. And there's nothing that you can't do. Just allow God to lead you in what it is that you're supposed to do. Now, on the other hand, I've had some other people in my circle that weren't quite so kind.
Okay.
And they basically said, I don't understand why it takes all of that. You know what? You spend more time on church stuff than you ever do with your family. They said, It's interesting. You light up like a Christmas tree when you talk about certain subjects, and other subjects you're not excited about. I guess you like that better than you like us.
You have a new message. Mm. Got you.
I've been told that sometimes it's in the delivery.
Yeah.
And women don't necessarily believe that. They believe in the honesty at all costs.
Yeah.
So now I sort of asked the question, what you gonna do with that shovel? Ain't no dirt in here. What you doing with that shovel? And when they swing for your head, you know what they're gonna do with that shovel.
Wow. Okay.
And sometimes it is a woman's perception, that uncanny ability to dial up the discernment, that is our undoing, because they will tell you exactly what God told us and then use it as a weapon of mass destruction.
Wow. But you know what? You ain't told the first lie.
Because that is when it gets interesting. God gave you all these gifts, and what are you doing with it? He gave you opportunity after opportunity, and you won't do nothing with it. No wonder somebody else has to take over.
Ooh.
Because you can't be trusted with it.
So let me ask a question. Question right there. Because this is about the wellness work.
Yes.
And you see this screen is half pink and it's half black, right? Yes. And hearing what you just said, and I want our viewers to sit with this thing. Either you've heard it said and it made you cringe, or you have said it and you need to repent. Is either one or the other. And I want to point out that what Dr. Mason just did was he identified what the wellness work missing looks like in a man, and what the wellness work looks like missing in a woman. When you hurt and you wounded and you tired, you use your mouth as a weapon of mass destruction, and you tear people down when you can be using that energy to build them up. And then our guys on the same side, you're wounding the women in your life because you won't be honest about where you actually are, and then you're mad when you don't get served better.
Kenitra, let me just go ahead and take it one step further. Men love to sabotage relationships.
Ooh, come on.
Let me just go ahead. I'm going to jump off right there. Right there. We love to sabotage relationships. Because you're too close to me. You're too close to me. I'm uncomfortable with your view. I have become transparent to you. You gotta go. So I've got to sabotage this relationship. So what is it true? Hurt people hurt people. So when you decide to go ahead and unleash this weapon of mass destruction, now I can put you in the deep freeze. And I can count on one hand the number of words I'm going to speak to you for the rest of this week. And it's Monday.
Yo, you just dropped some. You see my face? Y'all, this is a real-time response. I never, you can see things in people. You see things in relationships. You see it in your family. You see it, but we don't know where it connects. We don't know why people move the way that we move. So I thank you for saying that. Thank you for the transparency, because we want to understand how to be better. Like, we really want to understand how to be better. And a part of us caring for ourselves, as far as, we grace for this pool, as far as us as women being able to better care for ourselves, we need to understand with some type of foundation what this man in our life could be processing and going through, and not begin to weaponize our wellness against them. Because I'm healed in a certain place, but I can see where you're not healed, and I could become your enemy instead of your ally.
Correct. And Men are not guiltless. We do this with premeditation.
Ooh, snap.
We sit at night pondering. More breakups happen before Valentine's Day. Why? Because I ain't gonna buy you no gift.
They ain't in the budget. I ain't trying to spend my money like that. Oh, Lord.
Instead of saying, when I was in the 3rd grade, construction paper, glue, and glitter got it done. But now, it ain't good enough.
Oh, man.
I wonder if a man came home with a card that he made, would you accept it?
Golly. It depends on what you write in the card.
See, the bad part about it is it don't depend on nothing. See, you failed the test. you failed the test. No, it does not depend on what you wrote.
It's the fact that he made the card and he made it with his own hands.
Uh-huh.
Okay, like it ain't. So it's a difference between him buying the card and making the card.
No, versus doing nothing.
I'll bet. Okay.
Versus doing nothing. He didn't think about buying the card, but he was at work and he had some construction paper, glue, and glitter.
This glue and glitter is taking me out.
Here, baby.
Oh.
You know good and well you're gonna throw that thing on the ground and say, what in the mess is this? I'm not in 2nd grade.
Oh.
Bow. He's done.
Yeah.
I tried. And I know that some of your other folks are going to hit on this. But that's often where we're stuck, which is the younger version of ourselves. Because that's where it got twisted. When we were younger, our fathers told us, don't cry. If you can't handle it, that means that you're not a man.
Ooh.
If you ain't working with your hands, you really don't have a real job. My grandfather told me that one. I said, he looked at my hands and he said, you don't work for a living, do you? And I told him, I said, not the way that you think of work, granddaddy. Because all your life you've worked with your hands. He was a farmer. He worked for the railroad. He built houses on the weekend to supplement income. I work here.
Yeah.
So to him, I didn't have a job. I wasn't mean to him. I was not cruel. I was not snappy. I was not irreverent.
That's good. Ooh, you wasn't snappy and you wasn't irreverent.
But I had to share with him, times have changed a little bit. Everybody doesn't do this. Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
But don't harm the ones that don't.
Oh, that's good.
That's all you know.
Don't harm the ones that don't. Oh.
Because that's all you know.
Man.
That's all you know. So when a man looks at this, number one, he's not necessarily getting a whole lot of support from other men.
That's true.
Because they dodging and weaving. It is a special woman that he's going to get support from. Because often y'all don't have the vocabulary to support us. Because you break out in the hives and start itching and scratching when a man says, can you just hold me?
Come on, dog.
And then all of a sudden, you looking like this. Hold you? You ain't had me in 3 months. I ain't had no date night in a year. Wait. He took a shot.
That's so good.
God. He took a shot. He did. He took a shot. And you blew him out the sky. Flames.
Not the sound effects, Lord.
That's all you got. That's all you got.
That's
now, the last thing on this wellness journey, the other thing and we talk about this in church all the time. Women are good for getting in a huddle and telling each other what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Child, this is what I do for self-care. I go ahead and get my mani-pedi. I go ahead and get my hair done. I go ahead and get my facial. I go ahead and walk in the park. Child, here's what I do. I go glamping. I do a circle around home, and I said I'm going to do a staycation somewhere. I check in, turn off my devices, go ahead and get in the bed, and it's the best sleep of my life.
You're right. That's exactly what
I do. I got to have water. So I go down to Myrtle Beach. I go down to Hilton Head. I go up to Charleston. I do something so I am connected. Girl, I need mountains. I go on up to North Carolina. I go up to Cherokee. I go up to wherever so I can see and I can feel. And that brisk coldness where it's 80 degrees at the bottom, but it's 12 degrees at the top. That just does something for me, because when I look at God's majesty.
Yeah.
We lean into. See the game last night? Yeah.
That's it though.
How's the family? Everybody good? Yeah, brothers, I got a problem. What's your problem, man? My marriage ain't working. You be all right.
Ooh.
What do you do? Where are the icons of success for a man? I studied under a pastor who basically refused to show his blemishes. And I found out I really can't be under you. Because if you have no failures, I can't learn from you.
That's so good. That's so good.
I can't learn from you. Because when it comes time for me to go out from here, all I can use is your belief that you don't fail. And I know that's a lie. That you don't have any problems. I know that's a lie. Now, I've met some really good men who have said, I don't allow the sun to go down on my anger. I do not allow us to go to bed with a brokenness. Now that's good stuff, because what that means, if we need to stay up all night and fight until it's better, you might as well brew some coffee and let's get to it.
We up
until it's fixed.
That's good.
Icons, role models, the blueprint for restoration.
That's so good. That's so good. Restoration and reconciliation.
Yes.
Yeah,
because where is it?
I believe that what's going to happen in this summit this year is that men are going to have new eyes, women are going to have new eyes, and it's going to inform our ability to communicate better with one another.
Agreed.
And we're going to be able to begin the restoration and the reconciliation processes rather than, repelling one another further and further and further and further apart. We'll be able to draw one another in with some honesty, with some language, with some vulnerability, leading with your own vulnerability. That's a great place to start. Now, it's hard when you're doing it with somebody who doesn't have language. But if you create that safe place, I believe that they'll begin to trust that it's okay for that person, that little boy that was told he couldn't do it, that little girl that was told she wasn't attractive, that little boy who granddaddy said, 1, 2, and 3, those people have not had permission to show up yet. And so as we're learning to create safe places, I say this all the time inside of Grace for This, we are learning to create safe places so that the wellness conversation can happen.
Absolutely.
And that is truly the heart and what time is it? We got 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes. Okay, so that's truly the heart of what we're doing inside of Grace for This, but even more so, it's a movement. We are choosing to grow through the grief. Like, that's really what it is all about. We want to meet on a regular basis and make sure that we're having conversations. Oh, look at the fireworks, y'all. They're celebrating with me. These iPhones are something else, honey. We want to make sure that we are initiating and creating safe spaces for conversations about wellness to happen. We want to connect people with community and wellness resources, and we want to help you discover and commit to a wellness regimen, your own personal wellness regimen. So we got one more question, but I want to tell y'all, if you have enjoyed this conversation, if Dr. Mason got you together in the best way, we will be getting to each other together in the best way on March the 30th in Augusta, Georgia. And you can sign up and register at gracefordthis.net. You see it on the screen, gracefordthis.net. I'm going to put this up real quick. It's going to be March the 30th. We're getting the guys in the room and the girls in the room. So be there. Be there. Do not miss it. Okay? Do not miss it. So we got one last question, and I want you to...
before you do that, I'm going to hijack you for a second. Just taught this past weekend in your parents' church.
Okay. Shout out to my people.
Absolutely. TAP.
Okay.
Transparency, accountability for purpose.
Ooh. Write that in the comments.
Transparency, accountability for purpose. If we are going to ever get to the point that you're talking about with this wellness regime and regiment, you're going to have to be transparent with yourself. Ooh. It's time to stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. Second, you're going to have to be accountable. Yes, I did it. Yes, I'm guilty. I'm so sorry I hurt you. I'm so sorry I damaged you. I am so very sorry that I did not take responsibility for you. Purpose. I am destined for more than this. And the only way that that's going to happen is if I allow God to remake me. Pottery 101. If you don't like what it is, you break it. You then have it sit in water until it goes back to its original element, which is clay. And then you literally work the clay again. No. Once it is formed and dried, you're not going to make it better. You break it and make it over. Now, last question.
Look, no, you know what? Don't even worry about that last question. Don't even, because that right there, that's it. Game over. That tap. No, we good. That is the closing. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yo.
Golly. Jeez. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh my God. Oh, and they know I love a good acronym. I always got 3 things. So the fact that you even gave 3, I love that. This has been I am so excited. Jesus.
I can't wait till the 30th. I'm already registered. I wouldn't miss it for anything. And if you thought that I came guns blazing last year,
y'all get ready. Y'all get ready. Y'all sign up. This was the first of many. It was the first of many.
Here's my shameless request of you.
What you got? I got you.
Can we purchase shirts before the conference so that we can wear them to the conference?
Got you. You wanted to be pink? You wanted to be pink or you wanted to be black? Okay. I got you. Okay. I will work on something.
Grace and grit.
Yes.
Give us an opportunity to go ahead and embroider with our name on it.
Come on.
Promise you.
Look, he said it. Go ahead and
purchase it in advance. Pick it up either there or have it shipped. Don't matter. Walk in with it.
That's good. Look, y'all heard it. Dr. Mason said, come up in there in formation is what he said. Don't come up in here playing. Oh, snap, y'all. It's about to go down. Y'all show him some big love in the comments. Y'all clap it up. Stay connected. He will be in the building with us on the 30th. And there's going to be so many other powerful men who are honest inside of that room. So I'm telling y'all, you don't want to miss this.
We coming.
You don't want to miss this.
We coming.
So today, y'all see what it is. www.graceforthis.net. We can't wait to see you. And look, we'll be back next week with another episode of Grace and Grit. Thank you, Dr. Mason. Everybody, we love y'all. Y'all know I got my DJ queued up. Y'all ready for my track? Like the hit? Here it goes. And we out. Peace out, everybody.